Morning we heard. What is the proper means to restrain the mind? So, Jnanabhyasaha, Sravana Manana Nidhyasana, discrimination and dispassion. Remembering everything is production of grief, and remembering everything as Brahman. So, remembering everything is productive of grief. We should give up the world, and that remembering everything as Brahman, we should contemplate on it. From sleep, he says, it should be awakened. From oscillation, it should be stopped by dispassion. And the intermediate stage, passion or emotion tinged sea state, should be removed by the strenuous efforts led to equilibrium. One should not enjoy the happiness of Savikalpa Samadhi, Rasaswada, should be directed towards its own nature. Mind is not taking any form of the object, then it realizes Brahman. Nivata Deepa Kalpa that he has given. When, like the flame of the lamp that is not disturbed by breeze, mind becomes one with Brahman. Then again he asks, describe the state with Brahman. Then he says, bliss exists in one's own self, swastaha. It is calm, indescribable, so say the knowers of Brahman. It is omniscient. You should just remove that wire. What is all told, what has been explained so far, he simply says, it is all unreal. Page 458. Otherwise, non-duality becomes incorrect, he says. So far, what all have been expressed as described, laya, vikshepa, rasaswada, kasaya, how to control, how to restrain the mind, everything he says it is unreal. If it is real, then non-duality you cannot prove. So, there is no proof for to tell the non-duality. Na kaschid jayate jivaha sambhavo asya na vidyate etat tad uttamam satyam yatra kaschid na jayate. No jiva, individual soul, whosoever is born. Same thing was told in Bhagavad Gita, ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sarire. Whosoever is born, no jiva, individual self, whosoever is born, it has no cause of birth. Such being the case, this is the highest truth, where nothing is born whatsoever. This is Ajatvada. And sambhavasya na vidyate. It cannot take birth. He says, sambhavasya Now he is giving a little preface. Sarvopyayam manonigrahadi murallohadivat Sushtir upasana cha ukta paramartha swarupa pratipatti upayatvena na paramartha satya iti. All these ideas such as the restraint of the mind, creation of forms like those evolving from clay, metal, etc., worship have been spoken of as a means for the attainment of supreme reality. This is a means. He says, Upayaso avataraya. But these by themselves are not supremely real from the absolute state. However, the highest truth is nothing is born, no jiva. So, restraint of the mind, removing all the mala, vikshepa, avarana, everything only belongs to the relative world. And the Shastra, scriptures, and the master, and the disciple, he says that also is the relative. So, no teaching. Sivoham, bas. The means are in relativity only. The creation is to understand the absolute. So, all the means, that is sadhana, what we say, it is sadhana. All types of practices. So, they are all in relative world only. The creation is to understand the absolute. Why then you say the creation? To negate it. And finally to know your own self. Mrullohadivat. Just like the clay and metal. If you know the metal, you will know all the things that made up of metal. And if you know clay, you will be knowing all the parts that are made up of clay. So only one thing is there, the cause. If you accept the control of mind, etc., then there will be at last to get into the non-dualism. If you accept the control of mind, etc., then there you will be at loss to get into the non-dualism. So if you think this is real, then you will not go there. Na paramatha satyeti. He says, worship are being spoken of as a means for the attainment of supreme reality. But these by themselves are not supremely real. Na paramatha satyeti. Then what is the absolute reality? Nothing is born. Then how you conclude non-duality? Is asking. All relativity is like reflection. As means are relative, so he is asking now question. You say the means in relative state, they are real. So why don't you accept then as the absolute also real as relativity? He is asking the question. Then he say, Paramatha Satyantu, the absolute reality is nothing is born. That is explaining, न कश्चित् जायते जीवः कर्ता भोक्ता च नोत्पद्यते केनचिदपि प्रकारेण. No individual self, never born. No doership, no enjoyership. It is never. By any process, it says, Kena prakar. No jiva, whosoever is born, none like doer or enjoyer is born in any manner whatsoever. That is, in any manner whatsoever. You cannot. And what you are seeing is illusion. Simple. One word he is having. And one support he is having, Maya. This is illusion because of that you see duality. And in Brahman, he says it is taking support of Maya for to create. So only illusion. And good examples he gives, like magician, like the dream. Ajaha. He says, Ataha swabhavato adasya asya ekasya atmana sambhava karanam na vidyate. Therefore, there is no cause of birth of this self, which by nature is unborn and non-dual. So, in the very first sentence, when Krishna opens his mouth, as a teacher and teaching, asocya nanvasochastvam pragyavadansya bhasya gatasu nagatasu se nanusocyanti pandita. Even the knowers of Brahman, they never show grief. Those who are living, those who are positive. And again he says, you are talking like a fool. That also he says. So because in the first chapter he has given so many reasons. You think that you are a great Pandit, scholar? Nothing. And what is the meaning of Pandit? Pandasya, the Pandita, one who is having the self-knowledge is a scholar, is a Pandit. Others are not Pandits in the view of Sri Krishna. Swabhavato ajasyeva ekasya atmana sambhava karanam na vidyate na. Only one self. So there is no cause of birth of the self, which by nature is unborn and non-dual. And it is non-dual, it is not unborn. Yasman na vidyate asya karanam tasman na kaschit jayate. There is no reason, he says. No reason for birth and no cause for birth. They say, he is the father of all, but he is not having any father. That is, he is the cause for everything, no cause for him. So, yasman na vidyate asya karanam, no cause for his birth. Our 10th pontiff is to tell very nicely. So, the marriage function was going on for Parvati and Shiva. Then the priest is Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. And so, he asks, who is your father? We can say that you are the father because you are the creator. And again, who is my father? Myself. Shiva says, I am the creator, destroyer. So, they are beyond the cause and effect. That's why in Tantra, the Shiva is called Mahadeva. He is, here in Vedanta we say absolute Brahman. There simply they say Mahadeva. So not the creator and the sustainer and the dissolution are not these things, beyond. Since there is no cause for it, therefore no jiva, whatsoever is born. The Jiva also is not born. Only his limiting agent is taking the birth. So, even before birth, even after the birth, he is only released. He is Brahman itself. He is Atman itself. But he thinks I am in bondage. That's all. Even according to Gita. Of all the truths spoken of earlier as the means, that is the highest truth, that is Brahman. In the Brahman of the nature of truth, nothing whatsoever, not even a whit is born. He says, not even a speck is born. Yasmanna vidyate karanam tasmanna kaschit jayate jivaha purveshu upayatpena uktanam. You have told so many means to control the mind and other things. Satyanam etatad uttamam satyam. Among those all truths, this is the highest truth. That Brahman. Satyam yasmin satya swarupe brahmani anumatramapi kinchinna jayate. Nothing even a speck is born, he says. So here ends the third section, entirely Advaita Prakarana. What is Advaita? Nothing is born. But over. What is Vaitatya Prakarana? Everything is unreal. What is the first one? Agama Prakarana. What is that? It says only Atman is there, that is Brahman. But over. Three parts over. I am Atma Brahma. Now, he says everything is over. And again, why you are starting the fourth one? He says, first, he says, on extinguishing the fire brand. In olden days, nowadays, of course, it is not so famous in India. The fireworks they used to prepare. Fireworks. Fireworks, you know. Crackers. We see here now and then from Atlantis. We hear now and then. So, they used to prepare a particular type of this firework that is called alata. They used to mix so many things in that, especially whatever they use in that, this fireworks, coal, all those things. So they used to make a just bundle. And they used to apply this cow dung above that nicely. And it was very hard. And they used to put in the sun. When it becomes very hard, so in one end they used to tie a rope. And they used to lit it. And going on rotating. When you rotate, the sparks of the fire will be coming out continuously. So it looks like a round sparks. That is called firebrand. That is called alata. Unda andulo. Now he says, extinguishing the firebrand. What are the firebrand? All these dualists, those who never say having the faith in Vedas, they quarrel in themselves. According to one theory, which says 6 systems of philosophy, but they say 12 systems are there. Arey, how 12? Says Buddhist, Jaina, Buddhist there are 4, and Jaina 5th, and the atheist 6. So 6 systems, those who follow complete atheism, they are all atheists. And 6, to some extent, they come into this line, but not completely. So 6 here, 6 there, he says. 12. 12 systems. So one is Purvamimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Sankhya. So these are 6 and those are 6. 12 systems. Now he is starting. Say in the beginning, in the end and in the middle of a book, of a particular subject, one should salute or chant some auspicious prayer for smooth ending of the topic that he has started. That is, in all the scriptures, especially whenever they write some book, first you see Mangalacharan. When we started, even Shankaracharya wrote 2 Mangalacharan. 2 Mangalacharanas. And in the middle also and in the end also, they salute the master or the particular topic which they have taken up. That is only oneness. So, this is the tradition, sampradaya. He is now going to the first karika. Jnanena akashakalpena dharman yo gaganopaman 461. Jnaya bhinnena sambuddhas tam vande dipadam varam. I bow down to him who is the best among men and who has realized the individual souls that are like ether through his knowledge, which again resembles ether and is not different from the object of knowledge. I bow down to him who is the best among men, Dipadam Varam, who has realized the individual souls, Dharman Yo Gaganopaman Jnaya Bhinnena Sambuddha. What he has known? Realized the individual souls that are, Dharman means individual souls, that are like ether, through his knowledge, his own knowledge, which again resembles ether and is not different from the object of knowledge. He is not different from the object. That means the jivas are not different from the Brahman and Brahman is not different from the jivas. It is as if they have born or as if we are seeing. Now he says, Jnanena akasha kalpena, he says. This particularly, this annexure, kalpa pratyaya they say in grammar. It is called kalpa pratyaya. Pratyaya is annexure. Ishad nyune kalpa pratyaya. So when something is less, he is a very good scholar. He is scholarly. He is not a big scholar as him. Comparison we give. So, whenever they wanted to tell about Brahman, they give simile of the ether. Ether. So, ether is also all-pervading. Brahman also is pervading. But then why should you use the word kalpa? What is less in ether? He says it is inert. And the Atman is consciousness. So, some difference is there. That's why here Ishadasamapte kalpa pratyaha. He has used jnanena akasha kalpena. The ether is not completely full of knowledge because it is inert. Mm. Mm.
Added to any substantive in the sense of slightly inferior
Ah.
or almost complete.
Ah.
Slightly inferior or almost.
That is Ishat Nyuna, little less. So Kalpap is used Dharman. Dharmana Jiva. Dharyate iti Dharmaha. That is one who has come into the farm, and all these things are supported by the Brahman. So he is using the plural, taking all the adjuncts, limiting adjuncts, he is taking Dharman. Gyeya abhinena. And whatever he is created is not different from the creation. Tat sushva tadeva anupravishat. After creating, he alone has entered into everything as if. Again, there also as if. Not exact. Entering is not there. Why? Because he is all pervading. Hmm? Going to Laya? Hmm? So, that is the meaning of the Karika. For connection, he is describing the last three topics. Omkara Nirnayadvarena, that he has given a elaborate explanation to decide what is Omkara. Agamataha, by through scriptures. Pratignatasya advaitasya. Now, what he wanted to prove? The non-duality. Bahya Vishaya Bheda Vaitathyacha. When he wanted to prove the non-duality, whatever is there external to it, everything is illusion. For that he has given the second topic, Vaitathya Prakarana. Siddhasya punaradvaite shastra yuktibhyam sakshat nirdharitam. Now he says Omkara, I am Atma Brahma, and then whatever is there besides that, that is all unreal. And again that monism or non-duality he has proved through the Agama, Shastra and logic. Yuktibhya saksha nirdharatasya etaduttamam satyamiti upasama. This is the highest truth. In the last he is told. Upasamhara kruto ante. So, he says, this is the highest truth. What is the highest truth? Nothing is born. But there ends the matter. Non-duality denotes third topic. For starting the fourth topic, he is he is telling the proper meaning. Tasya etasya agamarthasya advaita darsanasya pratipakshabhuta dvaitino vainasikasya tesham anyonya virodhat ragadveshadi kleshaspadam darsanam iti mithya darshanatvam suchitam. Says, besides this, the non-dualism, whatever is there, he says that is all only illusion. Why? Etasya agamarthasya. This non-dualism is supported by the scriptures. Pratibhaksha bhuta, so many opponents are there. Even in these 12 systems of philosophy, 11 are opposing. Dvaitino vinashikascha, vainashikascha. Especially the dualists and the followers of Buddhism. Vainashika is Buddhist. Tesham cha anyonya virodhat. They quarrel among themselves. Nihilist, Buddhist. Those who accept void. Nihilist, Sunyavad. Anyonya virodhat ragadveshadi kleshaspadam. Now, you might have simply told it is klesha. But he says, ragadveshadi kleshaspadam. That means, here he will be telling all the 5 as klesha, asmita, sukha, dukkha, all these things he will be taking. Avidya, asmita, ragadvesha, abhinivesha, adi klesha. So all these things he is taking into klesha aspadam darshanam. That means the all opponents, they are having all these drawbacks. First, ignorance, and then ego, and then attachment, then malice, and he says, this alone is correct. Abhinivesh. So thus he says, ragadi darshanamiti mithya darshanatvam suchitam. So by telling ragadveshadi kleshaspadam darshanam, they are having all these things, telling they are all unreal, simply. And kleshena aspadatva samyak darshanamiti anaspadatvat. Here, no evils, wherein non-dualism. So, kleshena anaspadatvat samyak darshanamiti advaita darshanam stuyate. So, he is praising non-duality. The dualists who are different from the nihilists, Buddhas, the followers of void, Buddhists, who say the Atman is not there. What the nihilist says, the Buddhist Atman is not there. So they are having all these evils, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, adi. The other doctrines are not real, showing that they are not real. Why you are telling they are not real? If they are not real, they let them be not real. In which way it is useful for you? He says, they are all evils. So, they are illusion, endowed with illusion. They are all unreal. That's why here so many evils are there in those opponents that we are not having. That he says. After telling, he is telling the reason to start this fourth topic. That is, he is taking you out. Tadiha vistarena anyonya viruddhataya. They all quarrel with each other. And then, samyak darshanatvam pradasya. The non-duality is only real. Tat pradishedena advaita darshana.
Vistarena anyonya viruddhataya asamyak darshanatvam pradasya
tat pratishedena. Then it is viruddhataya asamyak darshana. One avagra we should put. Unda kada? No. Samyak darshanatvam pradasya. The non-duality is real, showing. Vistarena anyonya viruddhataya. They are quarreling with each other. So ours is correct. We are not quarreling. Pradasya tat pradishedena advaita darshana siddhir upasammatavya. So this non-duality should be proved. How? avita nyayena iti alata shanti arabhyate. Avita nyayena. Avita nyaya is, here he has given the footnote also, that method of disagreement. Avita. Now we will read the English translation. Non-duality, which had been presented as a proposition by determining the nature of Om in the Agama Prakarana, and which had been proved by the fact that the differences seen in external objects are unreal, was again determined directly on the basis of scriptural instructions and reason. External objects are unreal in the second part, and again determined directly on the basis of scriptural instructions and reason, and has been concluded by saying, this is the highest truth, in the third 48, last one. Etat Parama Satyam. The dualist and the nihilist are opposite to non-dual perception. That is the essence of scriptures. They are opposed. They are opposite in the sense they are having opposed concepts regarding the reality. Their perception is pointed out as false, since it involves evils such as attachment, repulsion, which are outcome of mutual opposition. What is the evil? Attachment and repulsion, raga, dvesha. And which are outcome of mutual opposition. They oppose the non-duality and also among themselves. He says, I am correct. He says, I am correct. Kesha, Keshi, Danda, Dandi. Previously we told. Kesha, Keshi, Danda, Dandi. It is a grammatical word. When two ladies they fight, they first catch hold of the choti. And then that is called Kesha Keshi. If the persons they fight, they take here one stick, there one stick, then they start fighting. So it is in grammar it is called Kesha Keshi Danda Dandi. They mutually they fight with each other. Their perception is pointed out as false, since it involves evils such as attachment and repulsion, which are the outcome of mutual opposition. Philosophy of non-duality is praised as the right perception, since it is unaffected by such evils. No evils here. The chapter on extinguishing the firebrand is being commenced, Alat Santi, with a view to showing in all details how their perception is not a right one, just to show, since they indulge in mutual charges, and then by rejecting it, it is concluded by establishing the truth of the philosophy of non-duality by application of the method of disagreement. Disagreement is vitireka. Anvaya is called wherever fire is there, there smoke is there. Vitireka is where there is no fire, there is no smoke. Now, it says in detail how their perceptions is not right one. Just previously we discussed when there were 14,000 of demons against Rama, and Rama just put one arrow. What happened? They were all deluded. This fellow says, that fellow is Rama, and that fellow says, this fellow is Rama, and they started stabbing each other, and they all died. So, this they call Sumbha Nishumbha Nyaya. Sumbha Nishumbha, they are two brothers, nobody can beat them, but they can quarrel among themselves and then die. So, mother appeared before them in a beautiful form. Then both of them they came and they say, I will marry, I will marry. Then simply mother says, you fight. Huh? Whoever wins, then they both fought and died each other. So like that he says, I am not dualist, I am simply keeping quiet. You fight among themselves, yourselves, and die. But that is called Sumbhani Sumbhanyaya. Samyak Darshanam. The method of disagreement is proving universal agreement through Vyapti. Vyapti, what is the Vyapti? Because they quarrel among themselves that it is not true. Through logic and through scripture, even it is explained.
అది ఇక్కడ కూడా ఆ సమ్యక్ దర్శన్ భాష్యంలో ఇవ్వలేదు, కానీ హిందీ ఇంగ్లీష్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ చూస్తే అది అసమ్యక్ దర్శన్. 10th pontiff ఆల్సో అసమ్యక్ దర్శనత్వం. ఈవెన్ ఇక్కడ ఇంగ్లీష్లో చూడండి లాస్ట్ 4 lines. With a view to showing in all details how their perception is not a right one, since they indulge in mutual charges, and then by rejecting it. అసమ్యక్ దర్శనత్వం ప్రదర్శ్య. దాని తర్వాత ఇక్కడ కూడా 10th pontiff రాశారు, विरोधी होने के कारण अद्वैत विरोधी दर्शनों में विस्तार पूर्वक असम्यक दर्शनत्व दिखलाकर, that is असम्यक दर्शन.
No, that also we can explain, but that we should not, from our side, we should not explain. No, as I told, samyak darshanam pradasya tat pradishedena. No, that is all right. We agree to you. So through logic and through scriptures, everything is explained to refute all opponents, and to refute the opponent is necessary, he says. Otherwise, some may think that something may be wrong in non-dualism. If you are non-dualist, simply go and sleep in your house. Why you are telling they are not all right? You make them quarrel with each other. Then he says, something they may find fault in ours. So if we completely negate them, then they cannot find any fault with us. That he says. Non-dualism, so it has to be proved that non-dualism is complete in itself. To show this, the topic of extinguishing the firebrand is told. Then, through argument, we understand non-dualism. So, through agreement, now we are defeating them by the method of disagreement. Vitireka, they are opposite to us. And finally what happens? Whatever is there, that is remaining, that in agreement, that is anvaya. Because here there is no quarrel, this is correct. Now he shows the meaning of the karika. Tatra advaita darshana sampradaya kartuhu advaita swarupeneva namaskarartho ayam adya slokaha. He says, why in the non-duality form he is paying salutations? Then he says, to show the tradition, sampradaya, Vyasam Sukham Gaudapadam, etc. That this Guru of Gaudapada is Sukha. So, and Vyasa got all the knowledge from the Supreme Narayana. So, for Gaudapada, he becomes great grand Guru. Acharya Sampradaya. Tatra Advaita Darshan Sampradaya Kartho Advaita Sarupanam Acharya Puja hi Abhipretat Siddhyartha Ishyate Shastrarambhe. So, when non-duality is there, nothing to explain, nothing to note down, nothing to write. When you are writing, you are in dualism. So, you have to pray your teacher, master. Acharya Puja Abhipreta. To complete the scripture without obstacles, he is praying, he is giving salutations to the Guru. The subtlety is same in Atman and ether, but ether is inert. Atman is full of knowledge and self-effulgent. So, the comparison is only for the all-pervasiveness, vibhutvam, pervasiveness. The plurality is due to the limiting ignorance, even they are full of consciousness. The dharman, plurality is given, that is to show that there are so many limiting agents, and the comparison is only for the pervasiveness, he says. That as the ether is pervaded, so the Atman. But lot of difference is there. It is inert and this is consciousness. It cannot create, it creates. All these things are there. Jnanasya. Now he is going further. The next para. Akashena isha samaptam akasha kalpam akasha tulyam etat. He says that which is little different from the ether, little less, meaning that which resembles ether. What is attained by such a knowledge as resemblance of ether? Again he says, what knowledge you are getting? He says, the possessor of it knows the individual soul. The possessor. Who is the possessor? The Almighty, the all-pervading Brahman. Tena akashakalpena jnanena. That is having the omniscience, all-pervading knowledge. Kim dharman atmanaha. What he knows, what knowledge he is having, all the individuals are not different from him. Kim visishtan gaganopan gaganam upama yesham te gaganopamaha tan atmano dharma. Why you are comparing with the ether? He says, even the individual souls are like ether, all-pervading. Souls of what sort? The souls that resemble ether. Ether is not, it is not having any parts, it is all-pervading. And the souls, all the individuals that resemble ether. Here, you can see in the English translation, the souls, he gives the small letter. That means all the individual self. That resembles ether. Ether is not inside, it is outside also, it is all-pervading. That is why one ether inside and outside. One consciousness inside and outside. I am Atma Brahma. Jnanasyeva punarvisheshanam. Jneye dharmair atmabhir abhinnam. Now he says, we are giving the adjective to the knowledge. What is that? Jnyeyahi, what to be known? All the individuals. It is not different. So, Jneye dharmair atmabhir abhinnam agni ushnavat, as the heat of fire and as the light of sun, etc. Jnanam tena jnaya bhinnena jnanena akashakalpena. The knowledge is like all-pervasive space, ether. Jnayatma swarupa avyatiriktena gaganopaman dharman yaha sambuddha. Says he knows all these individuals who are again all-pervading. Sambuddhavaniti ayameva ishvaro yo narayana akhyaha. This knower, see, the knower, known and known comes after creation. So, here he says, he is Narayana Akhya. And what he says, afterwards he says, Dipadam Varam. He says, I bow down to him who is the best among the men who are having two legs, he says. Dipadam is, that translator is not given, I think. Men is simply, that we have to understand. But Dipada is those who are having two legs. Two legs in the sense men. No, Tika, that will see the translation. Narayanakya vande abhivadaye dvipadam varam dvipada upalakshitanam purushanam. Dvipada means all the individuals. Varam pradhanam purushottamam iti abhiprayaha. Now we are going to the English translation. Souls of what are the souls that resemble ether? There is one more qualifying term for the knowledge itself. That is to say, it is not different from the objects of knowledge. That is all souls. Just as heat is not different from the fire, nor light from the sun. He who has realized the souls that resemble ether through the knowledge that is not different from the object of knowledge, which again is comparable to ether and which is not different from the knowable self, is certainly the Lord called Narayana. Why he says Narayana? He says the Vyasa did so much of penance in Badrikashrama. So Narayana gave him all the knowledge. Then he started writing so many things. And that is great Guru of Gaudapada. Vyasam Sukham Gaudapadam. So that is the connection. He might salute Dvipadam Varam means the best among all those who walk on two legs, or it might mean the supremely great of all men. That is the idea. లేదు ఇంకా అది వాళ్ళు చదువుకుంటారు. What?
Gaudapada is saluting to Vyasa.
Yes, sir. Not only Vyasa, Sukadeva also, because he says the lineage. Tena, it has come in the fourth line of the commentary in Sanskrit. The last word, Jnanam Tena. The Vyasa master did so much of austerities in Badrikashrama. Mahat atapyata. So much of tapas he did. So Lord was pleased and gave him all the knowledge. Lord is Param Guru of Sukha Maharshi. Lord is Param Guru of Sukha Maharshi. So, in the beginning of the topic, one has to tell about the topic, what you are going to describe in this karika, that you should tell, why you are prostrating, or why you are giving salutation to all these people. He is asking. Then he says, Upadreshta namaskara mukhena jnana jnaya jnatra veda rahitam. See, by saluting the master, we will be knowing Paramartha Tattva Darsanamiham Prakarena Pradipadishitam. We are telling about the absolute reality where there is no difference of knowledge knower and to be known. Pratipaksha Pradisheda Dvarena. How you are proving? By refuting all others. Pratignatam Bhavati. By the salutation to the teacher, it becomes suggestive. Object of this section is to establish the philosophy of the supreme reality. That is divide of the differences, such as knowledge, noble and the knower, by refuting the views of the opponents. So, in tradition, they say, Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tata gurau, tasyate kadita yatha prakashyante mahatmana. He says, you should have so much of Shraddha, faith on the master, as Yasya deve para bhakti, as you are having the great devotion towards the Supreme Lord, so much devotion you should have towards the master. Yasya deve para bhakti yadha deve tatha gurau. Then you will very easily understand all the scriptures. He says, Tasyate kadita yatha prakashante mahatma. And he says, they are having very expanded heart. Mahatma, Mahan Atma is. That is why they very easily understand the scriptures. He says, salutations to the teacher. Teacher, seeing the Lord himself and the teacher, he gives the meaning of this sloka of the next. Adhuna Advaita Darshana Yogasya Namaskara Tastute. Now you see, he has prostrated to the master. Now he is giving salutations to the knowledge, the non-dualism. Something is over, again you are praising. See, by praising the non-dualism, the aspirants, those who are dualists, they come attracted to this. And they will follow and they realize. That he says. Now, in order to extol the yoga taught in the philosophy of non-dualism, salutation is offered to it. Aduna Advaita Darshana Yogasya Namaskara Tastutaye. By praise of that, one gets interest in the means. Now he is explaining the word Asparsha Yoga. Asparsha Yogo Vainama. Previous also he told us Asparsha Yoga. Now again he is repeating, but here in different meaning. Sarva Sattva Sukho Hitaha Avivado Aviruddhasya Deshitas Tam Namamyaham. I bow down to that yoga which is devoid of touch with anything, that implies relationship. Touch means which conduces to the happiness of all beings and is beneficial and which is free from dispute and contradiction and is taught by the scriptures. Now he says, which conduces to the happiness of all beings and is beneficial. That he is going to explain. The self is for all the happiness of all the beings. And there it is only whenever you think of it, only you will be getting benefits. But even if you do some austerity, there will be some difficulty will be there. To follow some austerity, to do tapas. Austerity means tapas. So, but here nothing. Simply sit nicely, eat nicely, and sit and remember Atman. That's all. Oneness. Everything is over. Huh? You will get all the benefits, he says. Asparsha Yoga is explained. Sparshanam sparsaha sambandhaha na vidyate yasi yogasya. In this particular yoga, no relationship with anything, not even the mind, not even the body. Kenachit, kadachidapi, nothing. It says anything at any time is not having attachment. So asparsha yogo Brahma swabhava eva. That is the nature of the Brahman. Vainama iti brahmavidam asparshayogam ityevam prasiddham ityartha. Vainama, actually they are called nipata. Vainama in Sanskrit they are called nipata. A particle including the conjunctions and the interjunctions. Exclamation, ho, and then telling oneness. That is called, that particular particle, Vai Nama. Why has used these two things? He says, Brahma Vidam Asparsha Yoga Ityevam Prasiddha. Evam. The knowers of Brahman, they know this yoga which is not having any relationship with anything. That alone, by now, that alone. Sacha sarva sattva sukha. It is giver of all happiness. Then he is explaining, bhavati kaschid atyanta sukha sadhana visishto api. There may be some sort of austerity. By that, we may get more happiness, but it will be having some difficulty and sorrow also. Yatha tapaha, austerity. Ayam tu na tatha kim tari sarva sattvanam sukhaha. It is completely happiness only. That yoga which has no relationship with anything at any time is called asparsha yoga. By nature it is Brahman itself. So it is known to the knowers of Brahman. The meaning is that it is well known as the yoga devoid of all relationship. And it conduces to the happiness of all beings. Since other system, as for instance austerity, though distinguished as a means to the highest happiness, may breed unhappiness. But this one is not of that kind. Then what is it like? It brings happiness to all. Even the speciality, it gives to happiness to all, that has been told. It does only good to everybody. Swalpam apyasa dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even if you follow little in this path, or a little you remember that. So for that only They give many stories in Puranas. Do little, you will get more. Mm.
463 భాష్యంలో రెండో లైన్లో
Mm.
బ్రహ్మ స్వభావ ఏవ ఉండాలి, బ్రహ్మ స్వభావ ఏవ
Acha,
ఆ దండ ఇటు రావాలి.
Swabhava. Oh. That is the nature of Brahman. There some printing mistake is there. Swabhava should be there. Swabhava is there. So it is bhava. Swabhava means nature. But here the word is swabhava. That he says. तथा इह भवति कश्चिद् विषयोपभोगः सुखो नहितः. He says, कश्चिद् विषयोपभोगः. There may be something, happiness in the object. Some happiness is there. But it will not do completely good to you. Nahitaha. I am tu sukha itasya. This gives happiness and there is no sorrow at all. Nityam aprachalita swabhavatvat. It is not changing. It is the only real thing. Avivadaha. And there is no quarrel in that. Viruddha. No contradictions. Vadanam vivadha paksha pratipaksha parigrahena yasmin na vidyate. Nothing. Whatever scripture says, simply keeping mum, you have to accept. Avivada. That we are accepting. Kasmat yato aviruddhasya. And not only this, it is free from contradiction. Aviruddhasya. Ya idrisho yoga deshita upadishta shastrena tam namami ham pranamami ityata. I bow down to the yoga of these features which has been taught by the scriptures. This is the idea. Similarly, the enjoyment of certain things may create pleasure, but may not be beneficial in all the ways. See, whatever enjoyment, if you want to have in the world, you earn something, some money in India and come and stay Atlantis 4 days, everything on put. So, enjoyment is there, but no benefit. You have to lose so much of money. In the same way, whatever is there in the world, because they are unreal, but the ignorant person thinks that happiness is there. That's why he runs behind that. Enjoyment of certain things may create pleasure but may not be beneficial. But this one is both happy and beneficial. What is Atma? And we need not pay a single pie for it. Simply sit and meditate. Since it does not ever deviate from its own nature, not changing. Moreover, it is free from dispute, that in which there is no dispute, in which the disputants arrayed on two sides advance, no argument against it. No argument against non-dualism. Because it is their own nature. That is avivada, free from dispute. Because it is free from contradiction, I bow down to the yoga of these features which has been taught by the scriptures. That is the idea. So for this, we are having sub-commentary that we will do tomorrow.